statement, proclamation, 100th year anniversary proclamation for the Chamber of Commerce, and then we'll do Employee of the Year award presented by our Chief of Police. Citizen comments. The report we have this month is the transportation report from our planning director. So this is just going to go through kind of our transportation projects that we currently have going on, and maybe some, talk about any future stuff, or just.
I'm going to mention 2 projects that we'll be able to consider later this year for potentially advocating to the NPO level to put on a STIP. So it'll be included.
Be sure to mention the website.
Yes, there are some administrative things.
I love that we have that on the website now.
Yes.
Consent agenda will be starting with minutes. This will be January 5th agenda meeting, and then January 9th regular session. 5B is a surplus property donation. We would like to get council's permission to donate our obsolete body cams to the Old Fort Police Department. C is a resolution supporting the local control. This is just supporting Buncombe County as they try to get local control of their school calendar versus it being controlled in Raleigh. 5D, a resolution requesting the creation of an outdoor recreation economic services from the North Carolina Main Street and Rural Planning Center, Rural Planning Program. I've talked to all of you about this. This is a technical assistance program. There is no cost to us, but essentially they come in and do a economic development plan that will focus on the outdoor economy. So it's really just perfect for the lots of things we have going on right now in Black Mountain. Item 5E is the agreement between DOT and the town of Black Mountain for EB 5547 Section B. This is Section B of the agreement, which is the old Riverwalk Greenway route. This route actually runs from the restaurant Louise's down to In the Oaks, and it would be for sidewalk repair work through there, also Sharrows, and then some sidewalk at the end of Advance Avenue. This is something that we've been waiting on now for how long? This agreement?
It was bifurcated in October of 21, and it's taken this long.
So if you recall a while back, some of you may recall, we split that project into 2 sections, and it's taken this long to get the agreement from DOT. Now, this being said, this gets that ball rolling. However, after this agreement is agreed upon, then DOT has to agree with the rates that are provided by the engineering firm, and that can take 2 weeks or 6 months. They don't give you any time frames. They put it in a giant spreadsheet called the kitchen sink, and they hammer out the rates that they're charging for the different trades, whether that be right-of-way surveyors or whatever they are. And DOT has to say, yes, you can charge that money, or no, you're not charging enough, or you're charging too much. So that takes, in our experience with this project, that has taken much longer than 2 weeks. So
I'd like to address that a little bit. This particular project then goes out Vance Avenue, and it ends up at the Montreat Trail.
in the Oaks, that's correct.
In the Oaks,
That's right.
Trail. And part of this is, as best I can figure, you and I discussed this last week when we were talking. There's no time frame on this, is there? I mean, we're not under the gun of any type of a completion date. We're not under the gun to agree to something like this at this particular point.
And I think when we first got into it, they say you're under the gun usually for a 10-year project. It's usually what these things say. Now, we've probably been in this one spending that money since 2018-ish. So we're about 5 years into that.
So there's no real essence, there's no urgency to get this done.
DOT is not happy with the progression this project has made. And so they call me and say, why is it this way? We've been privy to the pilot the last year, working with getting our rates situated. So they're not asking for their money back today, but they're not happy with progression at this point.
Yeah. But there again, we're not in any jeopardy of losing anything. The reason I say that is because with the things that have occurred this past week, has just been phenomenal. With, I went to the Farm Flora Trail meeting, and the agenda they have is just amazing. And of course, they're trying to get from the top of the mountain down to the edge of Black Mountain. And of course, then they were just tickled pink that we've got this land that they could possibly come through and use. We could use possibly if we went to the south side of the railroad, came down through underneath the Hemphill Tunnel, and then on and through the land, and then hopefully progress, across the river there, and then move on towards Veterans Park. And I just think that you went to a meeting with the National Park Service.
Oh, that we had, yeah, we're in that program. They're doing technical assistance for outreach for easements, and then they're doing some planning for us for Hemphill.
So we've got them, we've got Farm Flora, we got Bounty and Soul. I met with Allie on Bounty and Soul, and she's trying to come up with a place that they could build a big facility to go ahead and service all the different families that they're using. This core right here that's going to be voted that y'all vote on. The Main Street Rural Planning Chamber of Commerce and their workforce housing that they would like to see done. The meeting we went to, they've got their ideas. They're set on these motels and up there, but there again, there may be a chance of trying to bring all this in together. The Buncombe County TDA, which could bring some money into us, and I'm thinking that if we go.
Are you asking to pull this off the consent agenda? That's all we have to decide right now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to discuss the agenda.
It's not the time
I
to
mean, I
discuss
can't do
it.
that, y'all can
It's
do
the
that.
time all we're deciding is what's on the consent agenda.
Okay, well, my recommendation is that there's no urgency to it, and that we let it ride for another few months until we can get all these stakeholders in this that could be involved in that particular area done. I just don't see the urgency to do it. It's up to y'all, but especially with the fact that it's going to cost us what, $400,000?
Well, we've got that money already back, in reserve.
The match for this project is already accounted for. We don't need any additional allocations.
We've got our money for match already.
But I just like to think that, especially with the Eagles and stuff, that we could work. This could be a tremendous project down there, and
I think it still will be, no matter what, for sure.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. It's up to y'all to really know you want to deliver or vote on it.
I'd be happy to pull this and discuss it further on Monday if we want to do that. But I would just say, I think we have to move forward. We've been delaying for many years now, trying to get to the point where we're at now. And this is beyond all the Hemphill property stuff. This is on the other side of the road there, and of Vine, and I think that well, we can discuss all that on Monday if we want to, but I'd be happy to pull it from the consent to have a deeper discussion if you'd like.
Very good.
Do we vote on that?
I think you're gonna need to at some point, but you can wait till the
You can
end.
just vote to amend it at the end.
At the end of the
At the end
agenda.
of this meeting?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Item F is fiscal year 22-23 amendment to our audit contract. Talk to y'all about this, our software, which we are in a good place now. We were not in a good place with it in September of last year when our auditor was here. And as I told you, now I'm a little smarter than I was a few weeks ago. I wasn't aware that if you miss your date with the auditor, you get kicked to the bottom. So that's what's happened to us. So we weren't quite ready when they came in September. So they say, well, guess what? We've got 40 other people to do, so now you're going to be last. So that's where we are with that. Unfinished business, we don't have any citizen comments, will be our second opportunity for that. And then new business, truck traffic on Midland Avenue. This is just looking for some direction from council. Pam brought to my attention that someone had an issue on Midland with some trucks getting stuck. I haven't seen that happen a lot since I've been here, but it has happened occasionally. So I think the thought is, does council have any desire for us to put some signs on the street and limit truck traffic on Midland Avenue?
And that would, Josh, and just since you're not going to be present on Monday, we're talking about just like basically past town hall.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to prohibit the bistro from using their driveway there, because they always bring a small truck and there's never an issue with them.
And
I think really it's people that get lost, to be honest, and they turn up that road and then they can't, I mean, they're just stuck at that point.
And so like what qualifies as a truck? UPS truck,
18-wheelers.
18-wheelers.
They're the ones that they don't have the turning radius to make some turns. Do we have to do that by ordinance to put those signs up and enforce that?
I think that's probably how we'll need to deal with it. I think we talked about it a little bit, but this is really just to get some direction first. But so if y'all do decide you want to, then we'll probably come back at a subsequent meeting with that information on how we do it.
And also put no through trucks set by the livery on, to think about.
Right.
I mean, I wonder, are there implications moving trucks, or I don't know, something that.
I think it's just been more of the 18-wheelers.
Yeah.
For my understanding.
Two axles or more, which, don't limit like rollback breakers like the Hall or somebody like that. If you go by axle, it's two
That's right.
axles or more.
8B will be our stormwater utility billing discussion and direction. So with the new financial software we have now, we now have the ability to break this down into monthly payments, which we could have done that 2 years ago. But the old software we had it would not do it. You could not break down things into monthly payments like that. So we are able to do that now with this new billing software. So we're just looking for some direction from council. If that is okay with y'all, and that's what we'll move forward with going forward. But just want to get that discussion started. 8C is an ordinance to amend chapter 20, section 20-203, which is accumulations. And we're adding a specific text for construction waste debris. So really this is kind of in conjunction with our National Pollution Discharge Elimination System permit, which is NPDES, which is a stormwater permit. That this is something they have requested we put in our code. Essentially, what it does for folks is if they're doing an active construction site, they need to have a dumpster that they put their construction waste in. They're not throwing it on the ground. So it doesn't get into the creeks and rivers.
And that, what qualifies as an active construction site?
I would probably say if you had a building permit, I would say 99% of people already do this, but we are required to have an ordinance that says you do this. So if you have a giant pile of stuff and it blows all into the river, there's an enforcement there. But most people have one.
But if you're doing a renovation on a deck or.
I would probably say no. We're thinking piles of sheet rock, insulation, that kind of stuff, but that is a pile of.
Okay.
And then D and E are both grants, community waste reduction grant, and then the community recycling grant. I sent y'all an email today. I'm not sure if you've had time to look at it. I apologize for giving you wrong information when I met with you. I gave you half right information. The grant is real. It's a real grant. It's just only for recycling carts, not for garbage cans. So there is not a grant available for garbage cans that we've been able to find at this time. The recycling grant for this, we would end up paying $236,000 for 4,800 recycling carts. Now, they have to be the 96-gallon cans in order to apply for this money, so they're the big cans. I looked at some financing as well, $236,000. If you finance that, the rate on that is 4.75 right now, which is much higher than what we got 2 years ago. But you'd be looking at for 5-year payments, about $70,000 a year, and 4-year payments, about $57,000 a year for those payments. And I think, I honestly think that there's probably some, some of the ARPA money that we have talked about using for certain things, that, some of that money is gonna be left, and quite a bit of that money's left, actually. So 236,000 wouldn't be a big hit to that if y'all decide you want to do that.
What is the, you and I spoke about this last week. What is the ratio between garbage and recycling as far as the truckloads that we take to
I'm gonna look at Jamie, and if we don't have that answer, we will get it for you,
I
Mike.
can get it for you, I don't have it ready available, I'll have to pull it, through our tickets and stuff for our dumps.
The only reason I mention this is because it doesn't look like, just from observation of just driving around town and just from my own collection of stuff, that, that these big, huge cans, if we could get them for garbage, that'd be great. And then just continue to use the tubs. As a matter of fact, if we need to go buy another 5,000 tubs and give one to every family, be a lot less money than just buying these great big huge cans.
And I think some of the things that we want to do, Mayor, is try, I think this is probably going to be a mandate at some point in the future with the blue bags and Kirby. Those blue bags are costing them a fortune because they are hanging up in their machines, the sorters, and they have to hire, I think it's in the write-up that we put in the packet or sent out today, excuse me. They have to hire like extra staff to come in and dig out that plastic because it's just such a pain in the butt.
And it's not recyclable.
And it's not recyclable.
And people have to buy them
That's correct.
to buy them.
But if we went a route of, and I'm not saying we have to do something like this, but if you had a route, if every family had 2 or 3 of the containers, these green containers.
The ones we have, I think they're 20 gallon.
Maybe we could talk about this on Monday.
I'm Rochelle, just for all you know, I'm the waste production specialist. We toured Kirby, and they let us know that blue bags contribute to about 70% of the contaminants that they receive, and that they spend, $10,000+ a month having to maintain that and then bring it to landfill. We are, I believe, the last town in the county that does not have these 96 gallon or recycling bins. That was what Kirby told us, we're the last county that has that. And using that, I noted in there, it would be not only I know that it's an investment now, but that also reduces sanitation workers doing a lot of lifting on their end. That would be easier for them to do, along with us being able to use the resources that the county provides. Right now, we can't utilize the resources about recycling correctly because they push not using blue bags and all the stuff that we have to push in our town. So that's just my one comment on that. That over time it would benefit us. And right now, the landfill tipping fee, I don't have the exact number off the top of my head, has gone up. So if we can push to get people to do more recycling in those larger containers, that would just over time be able to decrease our landfill fees as well.
We'll have some numbers for Monday.
Which we've already got the input, that there's gonna be an increase in ticket fee.
$3 a ton.
How much?
$3 a ton. And no public hearings, and then you'll have communication from the town attorney and myself, and that'll be it. Now, I guess you need to vote on your,
You get a motion to remove the DOT agreement from the consent agenda. I'm assuming that will go from unfinished business.
I'll motion to remove it so we can discuss further.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Looks like the ayes have it.
I didn't. No.
First time it's ever
We
happened.
have the time.
so I guess the mayor brings it.
Mayor,
First time it's ever happened. I'll vote yes, just to go ahead, so we can discuss that separately on Monday. If that's it, meeting adjourned.
It's as long as it matters.